Welcome back to Only Talk Sports. So we talk sports every single day, or at least we try to. I'm your host, Jeffrey. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Now, this is week 18 in the NFL season. It's the final week of the regular season, and the results in these games are going to determine which teams make the NFL playoffs and which teams don't. For all the teams that have not locked up a playoff bid, I'm going to go over each team that still has a shot to make the playoff and give you my percentage of how likely it is that these teams make the playoff. The Seattle Seahawks are 8-8, and they will clinch the number 7 seed with a win over the Los Angeles Rams. And they need the Green Bay Packers to lose or tie against the Lions, or the tie plus a Packers Lions tie plus a Washington Commanders loss, or tie against the Dallas Cowboys. I think that the Seahawks beating the Los Angeles Rams is obviously a really good possibility. The Rams have really struggled this season. They've been playing a bit better with Baker Mayfield, but the Seahawks, they should win that game. They've been struggling down the stretch, the Seahawks have, but they were able to get a big win last week over the Jets. And I think that the Seahawks will more than likely beat the Rams, but they need the Green Bay Packers to lose. I don't necessarily know if that's a given. So I think that the Seahawks' chances of making the playoff are around 40%. I think that they have a really good shot to make the playoffs because I really do think that they're going to beat the Rams, but they need the Green Bay Packers to lose too, and that's not a given. The Detroit Lions are 8-8, and the Lions will clinch the number 7 seed with a win over the Green Bay Packers, plus the Seattle Seahawks loss or tie against the Los Angeles Rams, or the tie plus the Seahawks loss, or the tie plus the Seahawks Rams tie, plus the Washington Commanders win over the Dallas Cowboys. I think that Detroit is going to be a tall task to go to Lambeau Field and get a win. And I think it's going to be tough for them to have a Seattle Seahawks loss as well. I think all those results are going to be really tough for the Lions to get. I think that they can beat the Packers, and I obviously think that the Seahawks could lose to the Rams. But I think the Detroit Lions' chances are a lot lower than the Seattle Seahawks. They need too much to happen, and their game's much tougher than the Seahawks. I think the Detroit Lions' chance of making the playoffs around 20%. The Green Bay Packers are 8-8, and all they have to do is get a win over the Detroit Lions to clinch the number 7 seed in the NFC. I think that the Green Bay Packers have a really good shot of beating the Detroit Lions. It's at home. They don't need anything else to happen. They don't have to have any losses by any other teams like the Lions and Seahawks do. I think the Green Bay Packers have a 60% chance to make the playoff. It's going to be very tough for them to beat the Lions, who have had a much better season, but it is at home. And I think that Aaron Rodgers, with a much healthier team, will more than likely find a way to get the win. But you never know. They could lose to the Lions, and then it would open the door for the Lions and Seahawks to make the playoff. Now, over on the AFC side, the Jacksonville Jaguars are 8-8, and they will clinch the AFC South if they beat the Tennessee Titans. They will also clinch a playoff berth with losses by the Miami Dolphins against the New York Jets, the New England Patriots against the Buffalo Bills, and the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Cleveland Browns. So the Jaguars can even make the playoffs with a loss. Now, obviously, they would need all those losses by those other teams, but I think that the Jaguars have a really good shot to make the playoffs. They're playing the Titans, and the Titans have really been struggling the last few weeks. Ryan Tannehill's out hurt. Malik Willis has not played well, and they got Joshua Dobbs at quarterback. So the Titans are going to have a tough time winning this game. Derrick Henry is a fantastic running back, but the Titans offense has been shut down. They have not been able to win a game in the last 6 weeks, and the Jaguars are at home. So I think the Jaguars have a really good shot to make the playoffs. Plus, with the fact that those other 3 teams could lose and they can still make the playoff, I think that the Jaguars' chances of making the playoff are around 70%. Now, the New England Patriots, they're 8-8 as well, and they can clinch a playoff berth with a win over the Buffalo Bills, or the tie plus a Miami Dolphins loss, or a tie against the New York Jets, plus the Pittsburgh Steelers loss to the Cleveland Browns, or with losses by the Dolphins and Steelers, plus the Jacksonville Jaguars win, or tie against the Tennessee Titans. Now, the New England Patriots, that's a lot that has to happen for them to make the playoffs. I think that the Patriots have a decent shot of beating the Buffalo Bills, especially with the Buffalo Bills turmoil that unfortunately has been going on with Damar Hamlin. Again, prayers for him, and hopefully he makes a full recovery. And for the New England Patriots, I think they have a shot of beating the Bills, but the game is going to be at the Bills. More than likely, the game will be played. But I'll give the New England Patriots chances of making the playoff at 40%. They're going to need a lot of scenarios if they tie with the Bills, but if they lose, they're basically done. So I will say that the Patriots, it's going to be very tough for them to beat the Buffalo Bills, but I'm going to give them a 40% chance. The Miami Dolphins are 8-8 as well, and Miami's had a really great season, a bounce-back year, but their last 5 games they have lost. They were 8-3, and now they're 8-8. They will clinch a playoff berth win with a win over the New York Jets, plus a New England Patriots loss to the Buffalo Bills, or the tie plus a Patriots loss, plus a Steelers loss, or tie against the Cleveland Browns. The game is at home, and that's going to really help out the Miami Dolphins over the Jets, and the Jets have been eliminated from the playoffs, so it's going to be very interesting to see how well the Jets play. But the Miami Dolphins do not have Tua Tagovailoa. He's in concussion protocol. More than likely, he's not going to play. And the backup quarterback, Teddy Bridgewater, he is hurt as well. So Skylar Thompson, the third string quarterback, he is going to be playing in this game. I think that the Miami Dolphins, again, have a great chance of beating a New York Jets team that is really struggling, but it's going to be very tough for them to win with all the injuries that they have to their quarterbacks and the fact that they've lost 5 games in a row and they might have lost their confidence. But I will give the Miami Dolphins a 50% chance of making the playoffs due to the fact that the opponent that they have to play, I think the Miami Dolphins can beat. And also, it's a decent possibility that the New England Patriots lose to the Buffalo Bills. The Pittsburgh Steelers are up next. They're 8-8, and the Steelers will clinch a playoff berth with a win over the Cleveland Browns, plus a Miami Dolphins loss, or tie against the New York Jets, plus the New England Patriots loss, or tie against the Buffalo Bills, or with a tie, plus a Dolphins loss, plus a Patriots loss. The Steelers, their chances of making the playoffs are very low because they have to have the Miami Dolphins lose and they need the Patriots to lose. And I think that's going to be very tough for them to achieve. I think they can beat the Cleveland Browns. I think that the Steelers will more than likely find a way to win that game, but it's going to be very tough for them to have both those other results to happen. So I'm going to give the Pittsburgh Steelers a 20% chance of making the playoff. And the last team on the list is the Tennessee Titans at 7-9. The Titans will clinch the AFC South and the number 4 seed in the AFC playoffs with a win over the Jacksonville Jaguars. All Tennessee needs to do is beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. Again, it's going to be very tough for that to happen because they have a third-string quarterback playing, just like the Miami Dolphins, and the Tennessee Titans are having to go on the road at the Jacksonville Jaguars, who've been playing much better football as of late. I'm going to give the Tennessee Titans a 30% chance of making the playoff. I think they can win this game. All you have to do is win one game. The Jaguars could have a bad game, but it's going to be very tough for the Titans to achieve that because they've lost 6 games in a row, and they have not been playing good football lately, and there's just a lot of things stacked against them, but obviously I think they could win. So those are the 8 teams that are on the outside of the playoff picture right now in the NFL, and those are all the scenarios that have to happen for each team to make the playoff. So to recap, I give the Seahawks a 40% chance, the Lions a 20% chance, the Packers a 60% chance, the Jaguars a 70% chance, the Patriots a 40% chance, the Dolphins a 50% chance, the Steelers a 20% chance, and the Titans a 30% chance to make the NFL playoffs. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Like this video down below. Comment down below which teams you think will make the NFL playoffs and what you think about the NFL playoff picture overall, and I will see you next time.